Welcome to Golden Mastermind Seminars Radio with your host, Jeffrey Combs.
Jeffery Combs, 2 for Tuesday. Welcome, everyone. It is a beautiful, warm day in Northern California. It is good to see you here. My name is Jeffery Combs. I've been hosting Facebook Lives for 6 years, and it is good to be here with you. And I have also been hosting this call since 1998. It started off as a live conference call at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I moved it to 10:30 Eastern on Tuesday nights. And for the last 6 years, it's been a 1 o'clock call here on Facebook at 1 o'clock Pacific. Thank you for being here. If you are coming on early, I'm going to let the Facebook Live populate. I'm moving my chair into position here. Good to see you, Michael Gershon and Taylor May. Good that you are first on Facebook Live here. Michael, how are you this afternoon? Topic for today's Facebook Live is the intuition factor. Judy Cardenas, good to see you this afternoon. Good to see you. Taylor May, good to have you here. I believe you are in Wyoming, or that's where I know you are. Judy, good to see you. Michael, you are welcome. Good to be here with you this afternoon. Yes, Taylor, I am glad to be here. Welcome, everyone. Jeffery Combs, President and Founder, Golden Mastermind Seminars Incorporated, a California S corporation that has been in existence since 1998. So, Michael, you know what that means. A California S corporation in free enterprise business since 1998. So the topic for today is intuition, the intuition factor, and being and staying in your intuition, which is also would be this right here, inner knowing. Now, this is a very old book. Notice that the spine of this book is broken because I have used this book many, many times. This is a collection of very, very deep content on people who are spiritual truthers. People who are very skilled at understanding cause and effect, how to raise levels of consciousness, and being able to be in the flow. So if you are here and you are now, then you're going to be in my intuition. And my intuition is trust. My intuition is know. It's aware. It's extrasensory perception. It's being here, and it's being now. And there's a space in your brain and a nerve called the vagus nerve that connects with your abdomen, your gut, and that connection between that nerve, your brain, and your gut is where your intuition is, and hence the term gut feeling. And the term gut feeling it's been a term that's been around for a long time. Extrasensory perception is called the sixth sense, and there's the term knowing, aware, understanding. Now, what many people do is they try to make sense. That makes sense, that doesn't make sense, that doesn't make sense. And they're not in their intuition. They're in their analytical, egoic mind. And when someone violates you or traumatizes you or takes advantage of you or isn't listening to you, it's very common to feel violated and then try and make sense of it. Well, that doesn't make sense. Why would that person do it? It's also very common in codependency to enable, over-obligate, do more for others than you do for yourself. Say yes, 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 not have clear boundaries. And then the people you over-obligate to don't typically reward you, give you satisfaction, compliment you, and then the ego is bruised, the ego is wounded, the ego is sensitive and defensive, and it can't make sense. Well, intuitionally, it's going to be important that you understand that you have boundaries. And your analytical, egoic mind will do everything in its power to keep you in a place called familiar. And one of those common commonalities in codependency of enabling, over-obligating, doing more for others than you do for yourself is not getting the reward and recognition. And then the person who is in that addicted emotional state of codependency, which comes from guilt, and we tend to over-obligate ourselves because we have challenges saying, no, I can't, not today, I'm going to pass on that, I appreciate the opportunity, but it's not for me. But many people say yes, 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 over-obligate themselves, and then try and make sense of the collateral damage that is created. Intuitionally, it's going to require you have a bell go off. It's like this. and you know that there's danger, you know it's not valuable, you know it's not a service you want to perform, you're not willing to cross the bridge, you're in the let go space, you don't feel guilty about passing on the situation, you're not worried about what others think because you're in the know, in the now, and you're able to let go easily and effortlessly. And if you have challenges with that, then you'll just continue to stay in the lower self of anxiety, fear, and doubt, the ego that wants to silently suffer, the ego that stays in relationships that are unfulfilling, unrewarding, the ego that stays in jobs and careers and businesses that you can't let go of. Now, you can let go of it, but your ego will say, I can't. You don't understand. My situation's unique. I have to do this to keep my job. I have to do this to protect myself. I have to do this to protect my children. I have to do this to do this. And so there's a lot of excuses, well-planned lies, stories, validations, justifications when it comes to staying in the analytical egoic mind, and you can't possibly be into it when you're in your anxiety, fear, and doubt. There's no way you can be intuitional. There's no way you can be intentional when you're in anxiety, fear, and doubt, because the ego is going to protect itself. It's going to stay in the place called familiar. It's going to do the same thing over and over to create the same feeling, and that is called a payoff. And if you don't understand that term payoff, then you'll just keep recreating that payoff over and over, wondering why you don't get what you want, wondering why you keep getting the same situation to fulfill the same feeling. Nadia, good to see you this afternoon. Beth Ireland, always great to see you. Nat Janoff, so good to have you here this afternoon. And Jacqueline Drew, thank you for joining me. I am covering content. These are my notes. It's called The Intuition Factor, and I put this out on Facebook yesterday and emailed it to you. This is the content that I sent you via email. And the content I'm covering today is how to be and stay in your own know, K-N-O-W. When you know, and you don't require explaining what you know to anyone else unless they're in alignment with you. And someone that's in alignment with you that knows you know, there's very little explanation because you're going to attract your reality people who believe what you believe. And as you seek the truth, as you look behind the veil, as you understand what's going on in the universe, as you understand some of the numerology codes that are going on, as you understand dates, as you understand places, as you understand the players that are moving, the moving parts, as you understand the chessboard, and you know, and then you know you've been lied to, well, you're now in your intuition. You're in your right brain. You're in your higher self. You're in extrasensory perception. You're in trust. You're in truth, and you're letting go. And in that let go state, it's very liberating. Now, many people are afraid to go there. I'm afraid to go down that rabbit hole. I'm afraid to find out the truth. Oh, I don't watch that content. That's a dark place. That's what many, they'll live in denial because they don't want to know. Now, if you're someone who does want to know, and you have the courage, you have the desire, you have the willingness, and you're committed to understanding cause and effect, how events shape feelings, understanding why you do what you do, understanding what goes on behind the veil of the world so you are a truther, knowing the truth. Because the truth, not only can it possibly set you free, but the truth allows you to understand the playing field. It's tough to understand the playing field, or it's challenging to understand the playing field when you're in denial of it. And when you're able to be in your own truth, and when you're in the know, then you don't defend yourself. Thank you. Nadia is a brilliant young woman who is following me here today. Good to see you, Ashley. I know you're in Tulum today. Eugenie Rose, who also is a woman who's in the know, follows me from Canada. She's on here this afternoon. And so for those of you who are in high consciousness, and you know who I'm talking about, so when you're in that consciousness, you know. And if you're teaching this to other people through yoga, through meditation, through healing modalities and other situations, and you're able to also access the quantum field, as you're also able to access higher consciousness. And many people get confused and go, oh my God, that's not of, or that could be this, or well, it's nothing. That's all God made. And when you let go of your preconceived notions, your worries and your anxieties about outcomes that haven't happened, and you focus on being your best self, you begin to change who and what you attract. Different situations begin to avail themselves for you. That is the truth. The greatest lie you tell yourself is that you're not good enough. as you begin to separate your feelings from the events that shape them, that's what letting go is. It's the ability to be your best self. It's the ability to not focus on yesterday or worry about tomorrow. And the more that you're grounded in the here and the now, then you're able to take a breath, release, and receive. So when you're knowing, when you know there is no doubt, and in that state of know, that state of K-N-O-W, and when you begin to live in a know state, then you will seldom doubt situations. You don't doubt yourself. And then you don't attract people who will challenge you because you don't give off that energy. You don't attract people who to be in conflict with because your power doesn't seek that feeling. Power stands alone. Power is love. It's joy. It's self-esteem. Power doesn't attract conflict. Conflict attracts conflict. A conflict consciousness. Well, if you grow up in a family where it's unpredictable and that family has addictions and there's men and women coming and going and there's brothers and sisters from multiple places and multiple spaces and you're in a dysfunctional home, that would be many of us. And if you're in this state of overwhelm as a child, well, you're going to be addicted to those feelings as a grown-up unless you learn how to facilitate the let go process. The mechanism of letting go is my specialty. I assist people to understand that letting go is a skill, and it's more than just two words. It's a lifestyle, a let go lifestyle. It means you let very little affect you for very long. You're human, and in learning to let go, you live in acceptance. So in acceptance, you accept that you're angry. You accept that you're pissed off. You accept that you feel violated. You accept that you feel like someone take advantage of you, but you're able to let go of that feeling quickly because that the mind-body connection in that feeling, it goes to fight or flight like this, and be able to change that behavior is to be aware of it. And to be aware of it is to accept it. And to be accepted is to breathe into it and release it. And that's what separates the neurons that wire and fire in your brain that are connected to trauma bonds, panic patterns, and as you begin to improve your breathing, as you begin to improve your consciousness, your memory starts to improve because the amygdala will begin to shrink. It's enlarged because of all the trauma you've held on to. As you're able to let go, the hippocampus, which stores your memory, begins to change, and your memory can either improve or come back. And as you're not afraid to address the past, as you're courageous enough to let go, as you're able to be courageous enough to start a business and walk away from a career, a relationship, a situation that no longer serves you, as you're willing to stand the gap of truth and move into that higher consciousness, you'll begin to change who and what you attract over a period of time. Your law of averages will enhance, they'll change, and you'll begin to change who and what you attract from the emotional discipline that you are creating. Now, it's not that it doesn't happen overnight, but it may be a process for you depending on how determined your ego is to hold on, how resistant you are to letting go, how angry you are at past events. But as you move into much more peace, as you move into joy and bliss and acceptance and gratitude, you're virtually changing your energy. In that energetic transmutation that you're transmuting, you start to transmute from charisma, which means that there's joy that's emoting from you. You're transmitting from love. You see light in people and light in the world rather than the darkness. Now, there is darkness. There is a lot of darkness right now. And there's more darkness that is being put upon us as a planet than ever before. That darkness is called trauma-based mind control. And it is prevalent, but it's been prevalent for centuries. It's just escalating right now. Now, that isn't for you to worry about it. That is you to be aware of it. That is you to understand what is happening in your world with 5G and technology and the situations that are going on and the trails that you see in the sky. And it's your responsibility to understand what's going on in the world. And that comes from a relaxed energy, not from hypertension, not from fight or flight, not from worry about the outcome. That also doesn't mean you keep your head in the sand. This is why it's important in today's world that you're aware of what's going on in the world without overwhelming yourself, knowing that you will prosper no matter what is going on, knowing that you will be your best self one day at a time, we continue to improve your emotional reflexes, your ability to articulate your feelings, your ability to intuit. That's what the topic of today's Facebook Live is your intuition is your know. It's your inner knowing. And the more that you begin to activate that, the more you activate the pineal gland, the more you understand what your amygdala is used for, where your emotional search engine, your reticular activating system that searches for a familiar feeling, is you're able to let go of your anxiety, fear, and doubt about the future and your regret of the past. It gives you space to be in the present. Now, when you were growing up, did you ever experience intuitional moments? Did you ever experience extrasensory perception? A woman just sent me a message right before this Facebook Live about a dream she had with a snake, and then her son found a snake within a few hours after this dream, and it was very significant that she shared this with me. Now, dreams are dreams, so it's your responsibility to determine your dreams. As I did, I seldom ever dream. My dreams aren't awake. My dreams are realized on command, as I have the vision of the future that I am manifesting, and that manifestation also comes from being able to know that you can manifest it. That's a component of your intuition. Intuition and extrasensory perception have similarities, although there are distinct differences. You can be intuitional all the time. Your extrasensory perception is heightened at different times. Your intuition is available to you on command. Extrasensory perception comes to you at different times, and it's important you recognize it, not be afraid of it, not run from it. It is a very valuable tool when you understand it, when you see what's happening, when you have a vision of the future, or you have any vision and you don't get scared of it. You understand it, you embrace it, and you sit there right in the middle of it without worrying about the outcome. And sometimes dreams are dreams, and you let go of dreams that maybe perhaps don't feel favorable, and you chalk it up as a dream. A dream is not the same as an intuition. And the more you understand dream space, intuition, extrasensory perception, and consciousness, and you put it all together in your day-to-day life so you can be in a very relaxed body, producing results in a state of joy, bliss, and relaxation. And then when you're enjoying yourself, you're not in any guilt or shame about what you did, didn't do, shouldn't do. You're here and you're now in the present, in a present moment awareness. And that intuition is also trust. But if you don't trust yourself because you're afraid you're going to make a mistake, get in trouble, say the wrong thing, well, it's going to be very challenging to be intuitional. And what happens to many people in their intuition is they doubt what they know, they doubt what they receive, they doubt their higher self, they doubt their ability to be successful, and then that creates the mixed message. And then there is no intuition because it's then neutralized by anxiety, fear, and doubt. That's why it's so important that in this year, 2022, as you move into 2023, that you're building the foundation. You're changing the reflexes of anxiety, fear, and doubt. You're moving into your highest self, one day at a time, back-to-back days, creating the energy that will transmute joy, love, bliss, passion, inspiration. And you're looking for mentorees, teammates, soulmates. You're looking for clients, customers, people you can collaborate with. You're not looking for the most difficult people. You're not looking for people who aren't rescued. You're looking for people who are independent, self-sufficient, people who you can trust, not people that you'll be in trauma bonds with. You're not looking for narcissists, passive-aggressive perpetrators. You're looking for people of high consciousness that you can collaborate with and create significant change in the world, or that will buy your products, services, benefits, and features. And they'll be great clients, and you trust that. And many people go, how do you trust? It's never, how do you trust? Why don't you trust yourself? That would be a series of events that are unresolved from past events that linger in either repression or suppression. And the more you understand those two energies, the more you can let go. My name is Jeffery Combs. I'm the president and founder of Golden Mastermind Seminars Incorporated. I am offering in the month of September a 22-hour coaching package at a unique marketing proposition. If you would like to take advantage of those services, feel free to reach out to me. If you're a former client, new client, or existing client, but feel free to reach out to me with a message on Facebook Messenger, and I'll respond to you very quickly. I brought this old book to this call today. This is a book that's about 30 years old. It's been in my library many, many years. It's called Inner Knowing. It's a collection of truthers, conscious writers who really break down how to be and stay in higher consciousness. My name is Jeffery Combs. Have a great afternoon. I'll be back here tonight at 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 p.m. Pacific, Tuesday evening on 2 for Tuesday. Have a great afternoon.